quick Ftse post-market review, mainly because I've had 5 or 6 private messages actually just talking about the Divergence entries that I posted. So let's just very quickly look at them. So if you look at the earlier video, I talked about the down channel, big resistance, lower lows on the price, lower lows on the oscillator, breaks go on the price. We know that because we get lower lows on price, higher lows on the oscillator, divergence zone. Okay, so longs out of there, TP back to the wall, which is the 200 MA, because it's still pointing down. And I mentioned, I think we were talking when price was around here, or I was doing the video when price was around here, and I mentioned about a retest of the low. Now this is these are high probability trades, so retest of the low, that's one thing. That doesn't on its own make it a high probability trade. The fact that the 50 is pinching back into the 200, which means that the res area is now weakened, because technically there isn't one on the 1 minute anyway. Then you've got a retest of the low here, a second one here. I went long here all day. I'd go long there, and I'll show you why. Because you've got a 1 minute divergence here, okay, a flat 200 MA, so that tells me that the resistance zone is weakened and that the price wants to look for a higher resistance marker. So you've got the divergence, and I've said before when we've had live calls, divergences on the low frames are stronger if they're confirmed with the higher frames. So you've got a 1 minute divergence within a 5 minute divergence zone. There's your entry point within a 15 minute divergence zone. So you've got 3 divergence confirmations there. Okay, I think it was Zane on the forum mentioned that as well, the 1 minute div within the 5 and 15 minute zone. So they're well worth looking out for. But obviously TP is important, and I mentioned that before because I'm not taking that for a big swing up to 500 or having ridiculous expectations. This was always, and the 5 minute 200 still pointing down, brick wall. 50 MA on the 15 min pointing down, brick wall. So always check your frames, because the 200 didn't hit, because indeed the 50 on the 15 was lower than the 200 on the 5. So always check your frames to look at the first marker that it could potentially hit or reject for TP, and indeed it rejected off of the 15 min. So anybody long out of here, you'd be looking at a realistic TP off of here, the 200 on the 5 minute, but on this occasion it was the 50 on the 15 min, because that was closer, and indeed it honored the channel, which is this 15 min resistance down channel. Okay, so that's the long entry. However, this is a little bit of gold dust just here, because I went short in here, and I'll tell you why. Because when you've got a strong angle on an MA, okay, the steeper the angle, the higher the wall. I know it's very cliche, but it's harder for price to break an MA that is at an angle, because it's more aggressively pointing down or pointing up, whichever way the price action is going, or the intraday trend is going. So if you look at this, you've got a 5 minute divergence zone. Look there, you've got a 5 minute divergence zone against, yeah, so you've got a 5 minute bearish divergence within a down channel, and off of a steeply turned 15 minute 50 MA. Okay, and if you look there, it's actually a 15 min as well. Let's just quickly look at the 1 minute chart. Yeah, 1 minute chart is near it. Well, it is. That's a divergence too. I know it's very close on that MACD line, but it's almost matched. It has matched, but this is certainly a higher high. So you've got a 1 minute divergence within the 5 minute and 15 minute off of resistance. All right, so there's your long entries there, and the reasons why. And then that was always worth shorting, because you had almost 1, 2, 3, 4 confirmations. I like as many boxes ticked as I can. 1 minute div within the 5 and 15 off of a downturning 5 minute channel, and a really strong 15-minute resistance channel. So I've almost ticked 5 boxes quickly in my head there to short this area. All right, so I hope that's clear for the guys that have been asking me a few questions. That's it. See you later.